I do what?
All righty, looks like we're live. So welcome to Redox Nurse Talk. I'm really excited this evening. My co-host and partner in crime is not with us this evening. She is moving, and so she's packing as we speak. So you have to contend with me this evening here. So I'm Doria Stewart. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. I live in a town called Buford, and I'm a registered nurse, and I've been one for about 43 years. This technology was brought to me by a very dear friend who's a dentist. And he said, you know, Doria, this might be something you want to take a look at. And at first, I didn't see any need for the cellular health technology that you're going to hear about shortly. I didn't see any need for it because I didn't have any health challenges. But little did I know that after being a nurse for 40 some years, there's a lot of wear and tear on your body, and you don't realize it until you start taking the product. So that's really what happened to me. I realized that this was non-toxic, couldn't hurt me, works at the cellular level, and my main objective was to be in a state of wellness and live a long life feeling, where I could be able to do all the things that I enjoy. So I got on the product, and bestowed to me, I realized that after being on the product for a few days, that my sleep was better. All the discomfort that I had in my joints and in my back and my feet after working long 12-hour shifts actually had dissipated probably within 30 to 60 days. So that was pretty incredible. And so there's been other things that have happened with me as far as my allergies. I don't deal with those anymore. I was just thinking, I went to the CVS store today only because I'm having a procedure this week that I have to prepare for. And I thought, I haven't been in the CVS store really in 4 years for anything like over the counter, because I don't need to take it anymore, because the technology has really made a difference in my life, in that, it's allowed all my cells to communicate with each other. So it brings healing to the areas of need. So anyway, that's all about me. You're going to hear from a very good friend of mine, Jim Motheral. He's our guest this evening. So he'll be sharing his testimony on how this technology has impacted his life, not only physically, but also financially as well. So I need to state our disclaimer. I should have done that in the beginning. But what you're about to hear is not intended to diagnose, cure, or cure any medical health condition. And, Cindy and I started Redox Nurse Talk, and we're very thankful. And I'm going to put some kudos out there to Barbara Stoltz, because she's also one of my co-hosts this evening to help me keep on track. She was instrumental in, once we decided to do this on Zoom, to help us, link it up to the Redox Nurse Talk, which is a link, and she's instrumental in gifting that to us, and she has kept that up for the past year and a half. So really appreciate her, and that's what this company is all about, is helping each other to, so I just wanted to send that out to her. But our intention was to educate people about this technology of redox signaling molecules, so that people could have insight on what it could do for them, personally, in their health, any health challenges that they're dealing with, or like myself, just stay in that state of wellness and be resistant to the stressful things that we come in contact with every day. So we are going to show a video. It's called realredoxresults.com. And Jim might need to help me with this. I'm going to try to share my screen. And what you're going to see in this video, once I bring it up, is it's about 9 to 10 minutes. And it's going to talk to you about what redox signaling molecules are. And you're going to see 7 medical professionals validating our technology. After that, I'll show you a little area. There's a place called What's Important to You, where you can go back and look at some videos that, they range from anything on, general discomfort to joint discomfort, just a whole array of different health challenges that speak more on, I guess, what would say symptoms, but not, we don't speak on diagnosis because this is not a drug. So I'm going to try to share my screen here so I can show that video. So hold on here just a second. All righty. Let me know if you hear the sound here. Okay, are we good so far? Let me see. All right, how do I get to make the screen bigger?
It should be on the lower right of that screen that there you go. You're getting there. One more click.
Okay, thank you. There we go.
Hello, my name is Alan Noble. I've been involved in the health and wellness industry for over 30 years, and I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to introduce you to a cutting-edge health technology that we call ASEA Redox. ASEA Redox represents a new category in health and wellness that for 2 decades science had declared was impossible. It could not be done. And yet today, health and medical experts around the world are calling ASEA Redox one of the single greatest health science breakthroughs of our lifetime. Now, a great place to get started is to get clear on what ASEA Redox is not. It's not a vitamin, a mineral, an antioxidant supplement. It's not an exotic juice, essential oil, or a CBD oil. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of those things. I'm just saying they're not ASEA Redox. This technology goes beyond nutrition. It goes beyond ingredients, and yet it has the power to impact your health at a depth that no other supplement has ever come close to achieving. For many people, ASEA Redox is the missing link to better health and vitality. Now, to understand this technology, you've got to realize that your body is the most complex communication network on Earth. Every second of every day, your cells are signaling and communicating critical messages for health, healing, and repair. If there's any breakdown in that signaling, you cannot achieve your full health potential. You see, this signaling impacts every system, every organ, every function of your body. You could say that if your cells can't signal, then little else matters. Now, you've probably heard it said that we live and die at the cellular level. If you want a healthy heart, have healthy heart cells. If you want healthy lungs, have healthy lung cells. Well, as science looks deeper inside your 75 trillion cells, they've discovered a very special set of molecules called redox signaling molecules. These are the molecules that you make that are absolutely foundational for healthy cell signaling throughout your body. However, here's the challenge. With age, diet, stress, toxins, we begin to make less of these redox signaling molecules. And it's about 10% decline every decade. So by age 50, you have about half the signaling that you had when you were younger. And as a result, things just don't work like they used to. You begin to see, you begin to feel the effects of aging. A simple example, imagine your home's on fire and you call the fire department and they're there with the big red truck, the firefighters, the fire hose. They've got everything they need to put out this fire, but what if you have a bad cell signal? They don't get the message. They don't know what the problem is, where the problem is, how serious the problem is, and your home goes up in smoke. Well, it's the same with your health. So let me ask you a very powerful question. What if? What if you could amplify and clarify this critical cell signal and empower your body to work like it's supposed to? That would be a game changer. So introducing ASEA Redox, the world's first and only cell signaling supplement powered by high energy redox signaling molecules. And since this technology is backed by 7 patents and over 1,000 trade secrets, there's no other supplement like it in the world. Now, not only is ASEA Redox a cell signaling technology, but it also signals at the profound depths of the genetic level. In an 8-week study, it was found that drinking ASEA Redox could increase 5 important gene signaling pathways by up to 31%, positively impacting 5 major areas of health: immune function, inflammatory response, cardiovascular health, digestive health, and even hormone balance. It's also been shown that ASEA Redox significantly impacts the NRF2 pathway, which is the master switch that signals the production of the most powerful antioxidants known to man, including the master antioxidant glutathione. Now, two separate university studies showed that ASEA Redox increases NRF2 activation by up to 60%, resulting in an increase of glutathione production by up to 55%. So although ASEA Redox is not your traditional antioxidant supplement, its impact on antioxidant health is nothing short of astonishing. Now, this is just one key on the ASEA piano. ASEA Redox is much more than an NRF2 activator or an antioxidant supplement. Remember, signaling impacts every system, every organ, every function of your body. If your cells can't signal, then little else matters. So at this point, let's hear what health and medical professionals are saying about the ASEA Redox breakthrough.
Inside every cell in your body, you're constantly producing negative and positive molecules called oxidants and reductants. And the contraction of that name is redox.
So with these molecules, we're amping up that communication. We're helping that cell signal.
Without these cell signaling molecules, we simply wouldn't do the gene replication that we need, the DNA sequencing that we need. These redox signaling molecules interact throughout the body with every cell that we know.
Every cell in our body needs these molecules for communication purposes. The more balanced they are, the more abundant they are, the healthier we are.
ASEA actually has the combination of the oxidants and the reductants that the body makes. So all we're doing with ASEA is enhancing what the body is already doing.
Having a product, a technology that's native to the body doesn't have to worry about detoxifying it because it knows exactly what to do with redox molecules. It's one of, if not the safest recommendations I ever make to a patient.
They found a way to stabilize them outside the body. And you can actually put them back into bodies that are deficient in those molecules. That's a game changer.
To have something that at its molecular level is native to the body is nothing short of a breakthrough. This is something that's foundational for health, for every cell. It affects every cell in our body. And not just the cells, but the very DNA within those cells. You know, we talk about the discovery of DNA as being a huge breakthrough, the discovery of penicillin. Yes, these were absolutely huge discoveries. But now we have something that actually goes even deeper.
So hopefully you're beginning to see why this technology is being hailed as one of the most significant health science breakthroughs of our lifetime. It's empowering people to feel better than ever before. For many, it is the missing link to better health and vitality. And it's not just health. Athletes are experiencing improvements in endurance, strength, and recovery, beating personal bests and breaking documented world records. In a university study, mice drinking ASEA Redox for only 7 days ran 29% further to exhaustion due to significant metabolic shifts in their bodies as they started to burn more fat as fuel. And so amateur athletes all the way to Olympic athletes are enjoying the ASEA athletic advantage. Now, after another 5 years of research and development, the scientists behind ASEA Redox were able to develop Renew 28, a topical gel that is infused with these powerful high-energy redox signaling molecules. So you've probably heard it said that seeing is believing. Well, when Renew 28 is applied to the skin, it results in a healthy, clear complexion, tighter, younger-looking skin, while dramatically reducing wrinkles, stretch marks, cellulite, and many other signs of aging. It also improves skin cell renewal rates and increases skin cell blood flow. We also discovered that when you apply Renew 28 to anywhere that hurts, ideally 3 applications in 5 minutes, over 90% of people notice a significant reduction in their discomfort. Now, I do want to point out that we have continued to expand our range of redox signaling products to include an intensive redox serum for those little trouble spots, and then more recently, the Redox Clay Mask, combining our redox signaling gel with an ultra-pure bentonite clay. And so headed up by the big blue bottle, this is our cell signaling product division. However, we have 4 product divisions in total. We offer a very clean and effective skincare system called Renew Advanced, high-quality bioavailable nutritionals called ASEA Via, and more recently, fun functional beverages called Cell Performance that address fatigue, brain fog, stress, as well as a vegan amino acid formula that helps your body build its own valuable collagen. Now, of course, the purpose of this video was to introduce you to our remarkable cell signaling technology. Now, we have other videos and websites that go a lot deeper into this health science breakthrough. But for now, I would encourage you to explore some of the other videos on this website. This is where you're going to hear how this technology has impacted people's lives. And some of these stories are absolutely astonishing. Real people sharing real redox results. So this is Alan Noble thanking you for your time today, and bye for now.
All righty. Oh, I made it back.
There you go.
Good. So you can go back onto that site, realredoxresults.com, and the password's Redox. And like I said, there's over 150 testimonies. And Jim, you said you're number 145, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. So if you don't get all your answers tonight on his testimony, you can go back and review that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. So Jim, I've had the honor to meet you. I guess we've known each other several years. We met in Texas.
Mhm.
And so thank you for agreeing to be on Redox Nurse Talk this evening. So Jim, I'm going to tell just a little bio. He can expand more as he shares his testimony. But Jim Motheral was raised in a small town in North Austin, Texas. He enjoys traveling and hiking throughout, which you've done that throughout the United States and Canada. In high school, you ran track. I understand you were very athletic. You entered the working world at the age of 13, working for your father, doing surveys and drafting the old-fashioned way with pen and pencil and paper, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. He also comes from a corporate background of 20 years. He has one daughter, Anna, who works in the medical field, and 2 grandchildren, Caden and Riley. Now, I do want to share that before we get started with those questions in the interview, that if you have any questions or comments for Jim, if you'll put those in the chat, we'll at the end of the interview, we'll look at those and present those to him. Okay, so let's get started.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for you and Cindy, even though she couldn't be here tonight, to ask me to be a part of this. This is an honor. And I am going to correct you on one point that you just shared. I've had 20 corporate jobs in my life.
Okay.
They were in 5 major industries, and just due to layoffs and contracts ending, that was the reason why I ended up job jumping, if you will. But there again, I'm going to back up a little bit. When I was about latter teenager, my 15 to 18 years of age, about before I got out of high school, it was put on my heart that, by God, I truly believe this, that he put that I was going to be helping people in my life. And looking back, I'm thinking, 20 jobs, how did I do that and help people? And then after the divorce and after other life issues that came about, this opportunity landed in my lap. And I recognized I was kind of a nerd, geek, whatever you want to call them, back in school. I recognized enough of the science to jump in it for the business opportunity. It was more along the lines of when I'm flipping through the Gary Samuelson book that Ann Glenn shared with me at the time. If this is real, I need to jump on the business side of this, because like I said, I recognize enough of that science to see the opportunity in front of me. And then like the testimony that I shared with Alan Noble on Real Redox Results, my first testimony is that my sleep habits changed. And that was night 3. My sleep habits used to be for about 30 to 32 years, 3 to 5 hours of broken sleep every single night. I was exhausted and I stayed exhausted every night during that period. And I'm sure it was stress related or other things that were causing that. But night 3, I slept a solid 6 hours. And when I woke up, I thought, where did that come from? It had to be this technology. And I just, I raised the dose from 4 ounces a day. That's where I started with 4 ounces, but I raised it up to about 6 to 8 ounces. And when I did so, I just tried to pay attention to my body. And 6 months in, my daily chronic knee issues, I was in line to break a 4-minute mile my senior year in high school. I could still picture the race right now. I twisted my knee at the start, injured it the start of the season, and I just begged my coach to get me in the last meet. I didn't care how he did it. So I was in therapy the entire season, got into the last meet, and yeah, I could have done that in 1977, but it wasn't to be. God had a different plan. I made 3.5 laps, and it just wasn't going to happen. But so my knee issues that I dealt with most of my life, and it would average about a 5 or 6 on the pain, what I call a pain scale type thing, to what I call some days it was just screaming 12. It was excruciating, and it actually took me down. My knee would go out from underneath me at times, about half a dozen times during my life. That just, and I never had any warning. It would just go out. But 6 months into this, with taking the Redox, and it wasn't that it was radically reduced; it was gone. Now I can get the knee into weird positions, and sometimes, oh yeah, it's there still, so to speak. But there again, the daily chronic discomforts are gone. Another 6 months in, so it's about a year into this, and I was somebody had said that they were using a breathing apparatus for to get the molecules into our lungs, and I was using that from the 6 month point up to the year point, and also at the same time doing the liquid, drinking that and applying the gel. I apply it literally from my face all the way down to the bottoms of my feet every day. I don't waste any of it, but a undiagnosed lung condition was radically reduced. I had been out of breath for probably 25 or so years, and I got to the point where I could barely mow a yard. I was stopping multiple times. I was always out of breath. And now I can go out to our family ranch and I can work 4, 6, 8 hours with barely taking any breaks. And that was my really biggest testimony in terms of what went on health-wise. I just attributed all this was the injury from high school and aging. I just turned 65 years young back in March, and most days I don't feel like it. It's like, wait a minute, I feel younger. And people almost daily tell me that I don't look 65. I don't know what I look like. I just, but in terms of my age. And then the last more or less testimony was my eyesight. You notice that I'm wearing glasses. I wasn't born with them, and I started wearing them in the late 90s. And over time, they progressed, and they're just readers. They're not a prescription. They got up to a 3.0. And the past, year or so, I noticed that I didn't need the 3.0s. I was using my 2.75s. Then these are 2.5s. And sometimes I can get by with only a 2.25. I'm looking forward to a day when I don't have to use them at all. And I love what this product is doing. And like I said, I started it for the business, but the health things have changed my life. And I love what I do when I'm sharing with people. And many of them here lately have actually told me that you're passionate about what you share. And you said you're dadgum right. I mean, that's just like, It's crazy what this stuff does, but it does everything.
Right. So it's amazing that, you had that gifting and that passion when you were younger. You always delved into the science and you
Mhm.
memorized everything and you understood that, because, you think about you coming from the corporate world. I think, okay, how can a person from the corporate world have it, a passion for science, but that was already, you were already wired for that.
Well, I'll tell you something that when I was flipping through that book of Gary Samuelson's, my mind instantly went back to high school biology and physics and chemistry, all three of them. And I'm actually breaking apart the molecules and redoing the molecules of what this is made from. And I'm thinking, this is nuts. I know what this stuff is doing. I know what it's making and how it, I mean, and then if people have actually done their due diligence on any part of this, they know that the first one that was identified in terms of a molecule that is a redox molecule was nitric oxide. And that became a little blue pill in '98. And they got the first Nobel Prize off the science from that.
Yeah. So you had no reservations that once you got into this for the business, you saw the business opportunity because this is a one of a kind, it's a category creator. No one else in the world has this. Our company is, has this the platform for it because nobody else has been able to, recreate these molecules. So, did you, even with your science background, did you have any idea what it would do for you? Just all these wonderful things you just shared about in your testimony.
No, I mean, like I said, I attributed my injury to be just that, a lifelong injury. I attributed my lung condition as aging. I contributed my eyesight as aging. Now the sleep, you can't, that's, why do you lose sleep? It's because for several reasons, primarily either you're taking too much medication that causes drowsiness and brain fog type thing, which I didn't have that. I just was not sleeping well. And when that opened my eyes, so to speak. But there again, like I said, I recognized the opportunity. And I'll tell everybody, I'm not ashamed to say it. I had about $400 in my bank account and several thousand on my credit card, but it's changed my life in a monetary fashion.
Yes, indeed. It gives you a sense of purpose, doesn't it?
Amen.
Yeah. All right. So, what I want to ask you, but you were in the corporate world, you had 20 jobs within the corporate world. How does the corporate, I would say mindset compare to ASEA, the company with ASEA is reference to the culture? What are the differences there when you see in the corporate world and then what you see with our company's culture?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. The way I look at it right now, especially with what they have just come out with for the field associates, there's no, every one of the corporations that I worked with and for had the mindset of profits. We had to have profits. They didn't care about their workers because they could replace them. They, like I got laid off and contracts ended. They replaced them. It was that kind of mindset. They did not have the foresight to say we need to keep these workers in this particular area because that's the ones that are making us money. It was just, the whole, it's a total shift in mindset. So the corporate leaders that we actually have at our corporate headquarters there in Utah, I'm going to get an opportunity to meet them come September, and I look forward to that because they have opened my mind to a different perspective of how to have and build a business.
Yeah, I say I worked with in corporate America because I work in a hospital system, and we have a president of our CEO of the hospital administration, and in 41 years of nursing, being at the same hospital system, I never had an opportunity to meet him face to face. you know.
Right.
And the beauty of ASEA is that when you go to some of these meetings that we all attend sometimes around the United States, that when you see the corporate leaders, they're very approachable and they want to know about you, not
Right.
about what you're making or, that they want to know personally all about you, which, you don't see that in corporate America for sure.
And that's what Tyler talks about, the ethos of the company. It's not the company, the corporate side, it's the company of the entire picture.
Yes, yes. Could you, in maybe about two minutes or three, share about the Genesis story?
Oh, wow. That's kind of was my eye opening in terms of watching a video type thing, watching and listening to Vertus Norton describe how he worked with the original company. I don't know whether I should name it or not right now. And I was aware of that company, but just not what they were doing back then 40 years ago. It was an accidental discovery. They could not stabilize it because they just couldn't. They didn't have the wherewithal or the personnel to do such. They went bankrupt, but right before they went bankrupt, Vertus stepped in to be on their board. And doing so, he realized two things. Number one, they were out of money. And number two, they had a technology that was had potential. And so when they folded and the energy company took over and started selling off assets, that's when Vertus stepped in and says, I'm going to buy the company. And he had an investor that worked with him to do such. And hearing his story about how people were sharing their stories, with him personally from the field, you can see that man that came out of corporate America to do something that's totally different from his world. It touched people's lives and it's touched mine too.
Yeah. So I would encourage the people that are on the call this evening, if they've never seen the Genesis story, to definitely, go to that site. There's a shorter version and there's a long version. And I tend to like the longer version because it goes more in depth to the story. Yeah.
There's a 5-minute, 10-minute, 16, and a 54-minute thing. I prefer the 16-minute because it really shows, or the longer 54-minute one that actually shows his quivering lip of where his emotions came to surface.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm so thankful that, because if he had said no, none of us would be here on this Zoom this evening for sure. So can you share with the group how you share redox singly molecules? So if you meet someone for the first time, how do you explain this to them?
When they first, great question. When they first ask me what I do, I tell them, I says, I've got a I partnered with a company 4 years ago, and they have a technology that's in the health and wellness industry. And they say, oh, that's interesting. And it's more along the lines of drawing them into the world of redox. And when I continue, I say, have you ever heard of redox? And 99% of the time they say no. I said, do you understand what redox stands for? It stands for reductants and oxidants. These are molecules inside your body right now. Oh, I didn't know that, is typically the response I get. And I said, okay, so the product that we have is considered native to the body, not natural. That's a blueberry or jungle root. We are native to the body. I'm trying to get them to think about what I'm talking about. And a lot of them make those connections, some of them don't. And I just simply ask, would you watch a 10-minute video that shares the technology? Most of them say yes, but they don't. And then the others that do say yes and do, that's kind of my struggle, is to get them to watch it and do the follow-ups with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the process of what I take them through. I try to keep it very simple. And there are times that I can get raked into the science and they want me to discuss what the science is. And I'll start into that and say, no, I'm going to stop right now. And there again, you need to watch what this is doing by a third party.
Yes, yes, for sure. Yeah, the testimonies is really what caught my attention too, Jim, is well, we didn't have the real redox results when I started 5 years ago, but going to a workshop and hearing people's testimonies is really what caught my attention. I'm thinking like, okay, I've not seen this in all the years of nursing, 40 some years. People don't have these outcomes, and there's something to this, and I delved into a little bit of the science, but it was just really more the testimonies that caught my attention than anything. So, well, I want to thank you, Jim. I want to see if we can open up the chat here and see if you have any questions for Jim. While we're doing that, let me ask how many, so Tammy's asking, how many years have you been with this CEO?
As of this past February 4th, 4 years. I've started my 5th year.
All right. And I was going to ask you, how much of the blue bottle were you taking?
Well, I started at 4 ounces. After my sleep change, I went up to about 8 ounces, and I've been doing 8 ounces for the most part every single day, with the exception of when I go out to the family ranch and work out there. I'm taking 16 ounces a day because I'm putting my body under physical stress. And so I'm going to compensate by taking more.
Okay. I'm going to show you this. So what about this, this here in this tube? What does this done
I
for
go
you?
through 3 tubes a month. And like I said, I start on my face and I work all the way down to the bottoms of my feet.
All right. Now
I'm not
have
bashful
other,
about sharing that. Go ahead.
we have other things in our, I shouldn't say things, but in our ASEA line, I guess you could say. We have our flagship, which is the redox signaling molecules, but the company came out with Cell Performance, which is a proprietary blend of all kinds of neat ingredients. Which one of the 3 is your favorite?
Oh, it's hard to tell because I take all 4 of them at one time. But in between about 9 to 11 o'clock in the morning, I just make me a cocktail of all 4 of them.
And so what would you say, what has redox
Now,
energy done for you?
Yeah, before I started doing that little cocktail of mine, I was taking the mind in the morning, the energy about mid-afternoon, and the mood in the evening. And we didn't have the radiance at that point in time. But once we got the radiance, now I was hearing more and more people saying that they were making a 2-for or a 3-for type of cocktail. I just started deciding that I was going to do all 4 of them simultaneously.
So as you take that as a cocktail, so we know that the redox is on about energy, and then the redox mind, which helps with
clarity and focus.
Right. And then redox mood. And then of course the other one that you're referring to is our radiance, which is a my mind's
well, it's for your body's ability to create its own collagen.
Yeah. So are you able to see?
If I remember correctly, all 4 of them target very specific areas of the mind that do the work for us, our bodies.
Okay. All right. And then do you take any of our VIA line?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not as consistent with it, but I do take it.
Okay. And which one is your favorite?
Probably just the vitamin stuff, the source.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jim, for
Absolutely.
for this
Now,
evening.
you forgot one line, and that's the skincare line.
Oh, I did. Yes, I did.
But the skincare line, I feel is great because, and I never thought of myself as wanting to use some sort of a skincare line, especially as a guy. But for all you guys out there that do shave in the morning, have you noticed how soft your skin is? I kind of call it baby bottom smooth. It's literally, it's like, holy mackerel. I remember when I shaved back when I was a teenager, my skin now feels just as good then as it does now.
Well, I haven't seen you in person in a very long time.
It's
And
been almost a year, yeah.
Yeah, you look younger than you did when I
Thank
saw
you.
you last time. All right, I think we might have another comment here. Okay, Lily says, when you mix the different cell performances, how much water do you use? Good
I'm using about 10 ounces, maybe 12 ounces. And that's, I don't want to dilute it any more than that or get it too strong either.
And is it pretty palatable to take it that way?
Yes, I actually taste more of the radiance. Sure, I can taste the others as well, but the radiance, because of the passion fruit in there, has a more predominant taste.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a great taste. I love the fruitiness of it. Let's see. How do you grow your business? This is from Marita. How do you grow your business one-on-ones, or how do you grow your business? Is it by one-on-ones or doing workshops?
Well, I do both. We have a workshop that we do here once a week in Kerrville, and we try to do it. We've started doing it at lunchtime, and that's because of the restaurant that just not, he hasn't closed, but he's doing a reformatting, so we couldn't get in there. We've had to do a change and going to an evening time frame over in a local church. We do a once a month workshop at a local center for fitness type place. Then other than that, I'm a member of a chamber of commerce over in an adjacent town, nearby town here, that I just had my 2-year anniversary with them today, ribbon cutting. And so I literally get out in front of people every single day. Sometimes it's just 2 or 3 people that I can get to sit down and talk. The most I've ever had in one day was 12. And I've got about 5 to 6 dozen people that are in the pipeline, so to speak, that we talk about right now. And they are at varying stages from a 7 to a 9 of wanting to get started. And I believe with the new initiatives that we have coming out starting Saturday, a good portion of them will be coming on pretty quick.
That's great. So you said you do fitness gyms or fitness clubs. How important is this for athletes?
Oh, it's tremendous. That's, going back to my track days, I have actually jogged a few times since I started this 4 years ago. No, that is after my knee issues got resolved, because I could not have done that during that time when my knee was aching. There's no physical way. I would have just been down on the ground, more or less crying, because it was that bad a lot of times. But now I don't have any fear of doing it. I just don't have the time to do that.
Well, thank you, Jim. I don't have any other questions. Is there any other questions? Now is your time to ask
Come
those
on,
questions.
people.
Or any comments for Jim? Let's see. Let's see. I don't see anything. Well, don't see anything else in the chat. So thank you, Jim, for I'm going to stop the recording here shortly,
Okay.
so that people can say, goodbye to you as we end the call. But so next week we have Cindy will be back. She can help me stay more on track. It makes a big difference when you have your sidekick with you, because she helps you not forget anything. But do remember, this will be uploaded. I'm not sure when, but we have our YouTube channel, so please subscribe to it. Cindy and I are trying to get to at least 250 people, subscribers. So I think we got 231 right now, but that's where it will be uploaded. And you can also see other past videos of people that have been on our Nurse Talk in the last year and a half. So next week we have Laura Dentone. I actually met her at convention last September, and she's going to share her postpartum experience related to mood changes when you have those, with after having a baby. And she also, about 20 years ago, suffered a major motor vehicle accident and had a lot of discomfort that she dealt with for a long time. And so she'll share about how this technology has helped her regain back some strength and mobility, and it helped alleviate a lot of that discomfort. So that's who's there. So I'm going to stop the recording and see if I can remember how to do that. Here. How do you stop the recording?
I think you can just go up to the top where it says recording and then the two bars or whatever, or the square
Okay.
dot.
Was okay. Now I got it. Thanks, Jim.